Hello ladies and gentlemen, yes, Zeke here again today to bring you a guide on how to make a basic detention facility in Prison Architect. Just a basic one that runs fairly well. Unfortunately, it does not work if you have continuous prisoner intake ticked because I like it to be well designed and it just doesn't work that way for me if it is well designed, whatever I just saying there. So first thing I do is I actually get rid of the rooms that currently exist, which is a delivery and a garbage area, because they are not centered on this map or on any map, and it bothers the hell out of me. Second, I use the planning tool, which is just over here, to measure up from the very bottom, from the very bottom of the map to the very top, so I can see exactly where the middle is. So it's a grand total of 80 from end to end. So I want 38. Let's actually go walls here. 38. I like to have a double entrance in the front to expedite efficiency. Actually 39 and 39 again this way. Lovely. So this is the real entrance. Now let's actually plop down a couple of rooms so you can actually throw down a canteen. Oh, not a canteen. My bad. A deliveries area right outside of here. I like to have it 4 wide and about 7 tall, or maybe, yeah, 5 wide and 7 tall. And a garbage area the exact same size on the other side of it. So this is just a measuring tool, the planning for me at the moment. I will be using it quite a bit in the future steps of the prison. So 5 times 7 because I like to have things symmetrical, and I'm pretty sure that's what I put up there too. And then I actually like to get a couple of exports right below those, which is why I only have them 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 3 more up here. I can't actually see where the room ends. Okay, there we go. And 3 more up there. Perfect. So now I can actually get my construction people to come in and finish that, and I will join you again during the planning step. So here I've laid out the basic design for my prison. Now, getting it built is a bit more difficult than just laying it out. As you can see, there's a big path through here. This is my main cell block. I have this laid out for the offices and the actual holding cell itself, which I will actually just delete after I've gotten the grant for it because I don't like holding cells. I prefer to have everybody in regular cells. Now for my actual prison block, I like to have a very easily separated modular prison block with double paths through all the high traffic areas. So this is going to be my actual prison. My showers are going to be down here. Later on, a work area is going to be down here in a forestry area up here that's only going to be accessible by the staff through a staff door up there. But this is a very modular system. As you can see, each one of these blocks is 10 cells and 2 solitary cells. Make sure that they are 9 wide when you make them. And if you need the height of them, I also like to have them 18 high. Remember, the planning tool really is your friend here. And I like to have several entrances to the shower, especially in places where prisoners will actually, or on paths that prisoners will actually take to get into the shower. So this is actually a fairly good shower room itself with these 2 doors here because I only have them 2 wide, so I never put actual showers on the side walls here. So that's good entrances there. This is a kitchen right here. This is a canteen. Notice that these are all, well, this one is 4 wide. Yeah, these are all 4 wide. So I can put serving table, serving table, serving table, and then I can just start stacking downwards tables and benches. So this is a very, very good size for a canteen. I'm not sure about the depth, the downwards length. I may have screwed that up because I forgot to measure it. But that is perfectly alright. Now, how do you get this built? Personally, I like to do it grant by grant because this is not an effective, efficient way of building a prison. If I built all this foundation right away, I would pretty much instantly go bankrupt. So let's go concrete here. Oh, by the way, the reason I have the detention cells, the holding cells up here, is because you want as much concrete between your prisoners and escape as possible. So having your prisoners over here makes it much harder to escape. I later on build not a perimeter wall, but just a perimeter fence to make it even harder and longer for them to tunnel out. Now they are a bit close to the top here, but I can buy some land later on to make my perimeter fence even bigger. So, Then you build the foundations. It's a fairly easy thing to do. And I start with just one foundation. And the reason for that, I'm building in concrete here. I don't think there's any real difference between them, although I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me. So you have to fence in your entire prisoner intake area. And this is incredibly important because you don't want prisoners to just be able to run out the second they get to prison. And then it's very important to put a couple of road gates down. And this is pretty much always the first thing you're going to do. And then your workers will come in and they will start pretty much instantly building up this foundation. And while they're building up the foundation, I think you can also just assign them some walls to build. So the reason I have these walls like this is that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offices, which is all you need. A medical room over here, a holding cell over there, and a storage room or staff room over here. So this is just the administrative section. Prisoners should not spend much time here at all, like only going through the hall at most. And other than that, you can have it gated off with staff doors so that this entire area is staff only. So, first things first, what you do is you go to reports and you take grants. You take Basic Detention Center and Administration Center because those are the two first and easiest grants to get. Now remember, this is just a guide on building a basic working detention center. All the micro gameplay and guards and patrols you're going to have to do yourself. So this is the first step. I always build the administration center first because I'm not on a very tight time limit to get my prison started. Personally, I think there should be like a building phase and then a continuous prisoner intake phase. I think that would be a much better way to have the game run in general for continuous prisoner intake mode. That's just my opinion though, I'm not a game designer. Maybe that is completely untrue. You also need a door down in order to get this done. I'm going to put a large jail door, and that large jail door is going to be right there. And then what I generally do for power and electricity, or power and water, is I just put them up here in general where they won't really be missed. So this is on the side of the road, so I know I can put capacitors all around it. So let's throw that down. Why can't I throw it down there? I might have my whole exports area going up a bit too high, but I can fix that later. So this has to be surrounded by capacitors later, and the water pump should be fairly close to it. Let's actually grab the utilities. You can probably get away with just 3 capacitors to start, and if you... I just realized I screwed everything up. You don't want this to be in the lowest possible location because you need capacitors surrounding it. There we go. And then you want the water pumping station right above it. And then you can add 3 capacitors to start with. If you add any more, they could bankrupt you as they are 1,000 apiece. So as you can see, I'm still doing fairly well for money. I should be on fast forward here, but everybody appears to be moving pretty slow and doing nothing at all. Why are you doing nothing at all? I think it might be because my export zone is full of trees. I've never had this many trees in the zone that I've wanted to make an import zone before. So I just made a bunch of money off of that. I think it's that I don't have enough import area. Okay, anyways, that is my general plan. I will come back once the foundation is actually laid and show you how to put the grants up. I need to fix this whole tree problem that I have going on here. Okay, now that you have your first foundation down, you can very easily put some large pipes down, put your utilities down in general. I like to have them running through the walls mostly, but I also like to have them crossing through the center. And running through the walls is a completely wrong thing to do if you're talking about the actual prison blocks themselves, which is another reason for their size that I'll get to a bit later. So first of all, let's start out by wiring up my water here, and then let's get a large pipe going straight to the middle here. The utilities won't be perfectly symmetrical. It will bother the hell out of some people, but it's just something you're going to have to deal with. So I have a particularly large yard here. I actually tend to quarter that off later on and use some extra rooms in the middle for guard facilities. So let's get the pipes going through here, and some pipes going to here. And then I actually have the pipes running the showers, the large pipes running the showers. Now prisoners can actually crawl through large pipes. So you do not want them going through the prison themselves. You want small pipes, which you can actually set up right away, and you might as well because, well, that's an efficient and good thing to do. So let's have these running down this way. Just had to measure that out to make sure these pipes were in the right position. And that will get all our plumbing done for the first couple of areas. Now remember, we really have to focus on actually getting these grants completed as quickly as possible. So putting down all the utilities might not have been the smartest idea there, but it did not cost all that much money, so let's actually start out with some walls now. So, of course, just to keep consistency, I'm going to be going with concrete walls. Building up like this, a small office block. I need at least 2 office blocks to begin with. And that is all I actually need for the administrative center. Then I need a holding cell. So I'm building these in such a way that I only have exactly what I need to be done. So that's done there. And then I will actually place some objects right away. And let's start with a large jail door to get into the main holding ground here, a large jail door to even get into the prison, and then a regular jail door to get into this room. Now it's probably good to start assigning rooms right now, and there's a really good reason for that. So we need a holding cell. As you can tell, it's highlighted because that's one of our current objectives. That's a good thing to note, by the way. But a better thing to note is that if you zoom in on a specific room type, it will tell you exactly what you need or what could go in that room type. So I'm zoomed up on the holding cell. It recommends like a bed, a toilet. It highlights the things that you would usually put in it. This is really helpful for me because I don't like searching through these icons, and I didn't know this until later on. So I specifically need a table, a toilet, and for it to be indoors and enclosed. So that's pretty easy. So let's just throw a toilet in the corner. Remember, I'm just going to dismantle this whole area. Throw a bench in as well. This is ugly, but later on I'm just going to dismantle it. And then I need 2 offices total. So let's start out by making these offices. I generally pause while I do this, especially if I have nothing else going on at the moment. And then if I zoom up on those, you can see it will highlight the 3 things I need. Well, the 4 things I need. I don't really need staff doors to them, but they make things look nice, so why not? I generally put the desks in the corners, a couple of chairs pointing upwards, and filing cabinets. Super easy to access right across the room. They don't have nice views, but they are at the very least offices. So those are being built rather quickly. The holding cell is being built. And while I'm at it, I should probably get the foundation down to get my second grant done. So all I need is a kitchen, a canteen, and a yard. So let's build out of concrete this kitchen canteen area right here. It's expensive, but it's doable. And then this is an added feature that you couldn't do this before. You build the foundation and then you can just extend it and it will work out. If you actually build the foundation into a wall, it will demolish that wall. So if I were to build the foundation into this corner, that wall would be demolished, which is really annoying. So avoid doing that. So the second I have one office up and running, which I do, I can actually unlock the warden. The warden will allow you to research the finance, or the accountant, I guess I should actually call it. And that will take 5 hours. And then I actually get an extra $5,000, which is quite nice. It will help me build all of these areas. So this requires an entrance. You might as well put the right doors just to begin with. So I like to have a couple entrances to the canteen. Let's make that 3. And a couple entrances to the kitchen because eventually inmates are going to be working there. Oh yes, and of course a large jail door to actually go into the cell block. Would be very nice. So as you can tell, it takes by the way, I did have to remove all these trees manually in order to get this deliveries area working, and I had to build a temporary deliveries area, so that's why this is so ugly right here. I'm actually going to go ahead and erase this lower one right there. And stick to the higher one. So the holding cell is done, the foundations are being laid, finance is almost done, so I've almost got that loan out of the way. Sorry for skipping the planning phase. I assumed you guys didn't want to just see me drawing a bunch of lines. But this is pretty much how you measure out how things will fit. Make sure that everything's placed. Make sure that you have showers because people get really ornery if they are not cleaned. And just kind of make sure everything's working out well enough. So that is done. Now I just need to go and hire an accountant. For early in the game, always be researching something. So I'm back in bureaucracy. I might as well research extra grant right away to get a third grant. And while I'm at it, I might as well research maintenance, because that is another easy grant that you actually want, because you eventually want groundskeepers to keep a forestry industry going within your prison. So remember, I'm just working this one grant at a time. Let's actually go right away to the staff well-being initiative. Is actually not a bad thing to do, but I'm going to wait on it until the basic detention center is actually done. Some things unlock when you have more prisoners. I will be able to get my prisoner capacity up to 20 fairly quickly here once I build all of this. Another reason I'm researching maintenance is because I really want to research the clone tool. Speaking of which, I should actually get another office built right away. Probably another 2 offices built right away, in all honesty. So I'm not sure why I always like having doors near the top. I think it's just slightly more aesthetically pleasing. So I always build my offices like this. Now, the only thing I have 2 of is the office. Sometimes I have a hard time actually locating what I need to put down. Put down a couple staff doors. Make sure that these are actually offices. I even like the computers to be facing the right way, because it just kind of bothers my little bit of obsessiveness. I won't even call it obsessive compulsive disorder, since it is clearly not, to have things facing the correct direction, at least when I start a prison. And then I should be able to hire a groundskeeper as soon as maintenance is done here, which is now. So now I can go with clone right away, which will be very, very helpful in 5 hours. And I can also start researching psychology and health, which is another grant that you need pretty quickly. Fairly soon these will be filled out, and I can get some prisoners going on here. Another thing I want to do is actually just build a concrete wall right here. There we go. That will allow me to actually get my yard up. Which is, I always have a hard time finding the yard indicator, or the yard button. Where are you, yard? There you are. So for now, all this is the yard. Later on, my yard gets a tiny bit janky as I take up these corners for extra buildings and extra security. Just to show you something cool here, I've actually kind of planned for it. If I were to just measure from this tile here to here, that's 10, so that's 2 4x4 rooms that can fit there, I think. Either way, I generally make like a couple rooms here, one for security and one for a common room. Sometimes a laundry room or a centralized cleaning location. There's a lot of things you can put in this area. Let's just put it that way. So as you can tell, the 3 capacitors are doing me well right now. They don't provide me that much power, but I don't need that much power at the moment. And I should probably work on utilities a tiny bit more. So let's actually get some electrical cables going through the walls this way. The pipes are already done, and that should be enough electrical cables. Now, the interesting thing with the electrical cables through the kitchen is they should be just everywhere. Because I line all the walls, I line everything with different cookers and jobs to do and things to be on. And this kitchen will eventually expand to basically accommodate my entire prison. Up to 200 can easily be fed in this one canteen. In my personal experience so far. Want to be very clear about that. So psychology and clone tool are both researching, except I do not yet have a foreman. So let's go ahead and hire one so I can actually research that clone tool. And everything is starting to look quite alright. So let's let them keep building for a while. Actually, let's assign rooms here. Is there anything else left to build? No, so let's pause. So now I need a canteen. My canteen is going to be this whole area right here. I need a kitchen, which is going to be this whole area right here. Lovely. I need a shower, which is going to be this whole area right here, and this whole area right here. Eventually I'm going to have some metal detectors going around these areas, so you don't want to make the doors on the entrances to major areas. I should also have metal detectors leaving the canteen, but I have no way of doing that and making it not ugly as hell, so I'm not going to do it. Lovely. So I have shower, 2 guards, 2 chefs. Okay. So, I do get lost sometimes doing this. Might as well actually get some materials and build some walls. This line all the way down you might as well just build. This line all the way across you might as well just build. And then I like to have my prisons slightly symmetrical. As you know, I'm quite a fan of symmetry, not because I'm obsessive about it, not because I have weird compulsions, just because it really helps you with organization in the long run. So you might as well. So I like to have all the entrances in the same general vicinity. Perfect. Now all those will be built. Pretty soon the clone tool will be up and running. So I'm only going to build a couple cells. No, I'm going to build all the cells just straight up. So let's move this all the way down, this all the way across. There we go. Hope I'm not screwing this up. I'm having a hard time actually seeing with this current color palette and the planning in the way. There we go. Keep building up. Everything's a bit difficult until you get the hang of the cloning tool, or at least until you get a hold of the cloning tool. And there we go, holding cells as well. So now it seems like it's time to actually place things. Let's go back to objects. Remember, zoom in and it will show you exactly what you need. So let's start with cookers. 1, 2, 3, 4 cookers. And I think you only need 2 fridges to support 4 cookers. I'm not sure why I think that, but I'm pretty sure that's indeed the case. And then a couple sinks. And next to those sinks, a couple of trash bins. And I find this setup works really well, and you can just kind of extend it indefinitely, which is very, very nice indeed. So this has everything it needs in it right now. Now you, on the other hand, do not have everything you need. So I screwed up the size of the serving tables. Well, this is where improvisation is called for. So what happens if I put them like this? 2 fit, just barely. I really thought these were 4 wide, not 5 wide, so I've made a clear and very, very serious mistake here in my planning. That is alright though. What I will do is I will start by just placing all the tables, or by placing all the tables exactly how it was planned. Yeah, okay. And then I'll just place the benches and completely ignore the fact that I very, very much screwed up my planning phase. I know these are kind of blocking the doors. That doesn't matter in the slightest. They can just crawl over those if necessary. And in all honesty, this is way more than I currently need, but I like to have my canteen fairly well set up almost immediately. So kitchen and canteen are done. Showers actually need shower heads, so I might as well just put a shower head down in order to get my grant, even though this shower is completely non-functional. There we go. Now I can actually choose rooms, designate these all as cells, and then I can go objects. It tells me exactly what I need and some things that it recommends that I can put, but I'm not giving them bookshelves because to hell with that. Although maybe it increases like prisoner education. I don't actually know. So I've created one cell. I have the clone tool now, so I can use that whenever I need to. Generally, I'm doing this in generally a bad order, by the way, being very inefficient about my placement. But I want these placed just so I can take the clone tool when they're finally done and just get them to place all of the individual units. So right-click to select with clone tool, select the entire cell, and make sure that you overlap the walls when you actually place them. Or else you'll end up with really weird walls that are incredibly hard to cancel. So I just spent a lot of money. I'm going to make sure I do not go under because of this. All I need to get that grant completed now is extra staff, so I might as well hire 2 guards and 2 cooks. Now, what is wrong with my utilities at present? Ah, they don't exist. Okay, so I might as well get this attached. And then that'll light up the entire kitchen and canteen area. And in all honesty, I should probably also... Wow, really screwed that up. Put that there then, put that there, and run this through the wall and through here. There we go. They didn't want to have access to this part, so... Really? Can they not get to it? Interesting. So now I have almost a functional shower. I should probably actually just go ahead and build the rest out here. Get these walls done. There we go. Grab some extra shower heads. My showers are quite expensive. By the way, when you drag and drop shower heads, you can always just use your WASD in order to actually place them. I find that that is actually the most efficient way of going about placing them at all. Let's place these over here. Grab all those shower heads. I know this is a long guide, but you know, it's a long game, and I think the prep phase is worth it to have a very nice functional prison that is quite large and has room to expand in a good way. Also, always be researching things. Do as I say, not as I do. Cleaning is very important, or else the prisoners will complain and start rioting at you. And nobody wants their prisoners rioting at them. So, this might seem like a lot of time and commitment in order to make a kitchen, but, you know, or in order to make a prison, but good prisons aren't designed in 5 minutes. They take a bit longer than that. And as you can see, even though I was very much trying to make a nicely designed kitchen, I have screwed up in a lot of places. So let's throw some concrete walls in here. Actually, no, that's the one place I don't want you to build that. Okay, there we go. Then let's throw a couple doors up there. Just regular doors. Again, prisoners are eventually going to be working in this area. The chefs are already cooking. And I'm making quite a bit of money a day, even though I'm doing nothing. And I could start accepting prisoners right now, actually. And I probably should. So this is the very, very basic setup. And I think this is going to be all for my guide for today. I might do some more episodes of this guide. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want an episode 2, please leave in the comment. And I will show you how to expand the prison from a very, very basic setup, which is this. It's a very basic but functional setup. Although, I guess I probably should add some weight benches along here. And some phone booths along here. From a very basic setup to a much better setup that you can actually have minimum, maximum security, prisoners working, and all that jazz. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.